Good morning. This is a video tutorial around how to create a Bitmoji classroom scene in Canva. I have had several people ask, and my apologies for the lateness of this. I had many technical issues yesterday, and though I tried to get it done, my computer just did not cooperate. So here's hoping that things go more smooth today. So first of all, I did have one person mention that they found Canva frustrating, and I will tell you that if you have a free account, it definitely can be frustrating because you are very limited in the options for graphics and elements and fonts and colors. So the good news is that Canva does offer a free account for educators, a free pro account. That is super simple. You just go do a Google search for Canva for Education, and then click on the Apply for Canva's Education Program link and fill out the application. It's a super simple process and does not take much time at all. You can go ahead and create your account prior to being approved. Just make sure you use the same email to create the account as the email that you use to apply. And then once the application is approved, all you need to do is log out and back in, and the changes will have taken place. So let's go ahead and get started. You are going to create a design, and you will want to do a presentation. This is the most closely lined up size-wise with Google Slides, so it's the best option to use. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a background for your slides. You can search a lot of different options to find those backgrounds in Canva. This is a search for classroom layout. You see that there are several available. My recommendation would be to choose a pretty simple one for ease of use for both you and students. This would be a good one to use. You can add other elements to it, the desk and so on. You could also search for empty room and find something that way that you could add your own elements to. Or I know that a lot of people enjoy using a living room scene with the whole work from home, teach from home thing going on. So you can search in living room and find some that way. I would caution that you choose a photo that is a rectangular shape, such as the presentation is. Otherwise, when you resize it, you will lose some of the elements in your photo or distort them. So I'm trying to find one. You see that I resized this one very easily. It's just a drag and drop process. But if I chose something that is, this is not a scene I would use, but I'm going to use it as an example. Notice that when I try to resize this one, I'm going to lose a lot of what's in the photo. And it can also distort your images, so that's just a caution. You can also upload images in Canva to use. So I have already uploaded some of the layouts from the Bitmoji Craze for Educators group, and a couple of others that I found on Google. This one does not work so great because it's so far away. So again, those are some things that you might want to think about. I'm going to go ahead and use this one, which came from the Facebook group. And again, the first thing you want to do is resize it to make it a background of your slide. And then you will want to add your Bitmoji. So one thing that's nice about Canva If you go to the menu on the left side and click more, you'll notice that you can connect your Bitmoji to Canva. That being said, there are not as many pose options within Canva for the Bitmoji. You very likely may find one here that works for you, but you can also go to the Bitmoji extension, download a pose that you like, and then upload it into Canva. You can see that I have already uploaded several of them in here. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one. And then resize it. And place it wherever you want it to be within the slide. So now you're ready to add elements, and you can just go to elements here. One thing that I find a really good idea is in these times of teach from home, I like to bring some personal elements in since we are separated from our kiddos and we need to find ways to still build and maintain our relationships with them. So I always add some personal photos in mine. You'll notice that there's a photo frame on this shelf, but I'm not going to use it. I'm actually going to cover it up. And I'm going to show you why really quickly. That is because I would need to maintain that size in order to that size and that shape in order to fit it nicely into that frame. This is a picture of myself, my dad, and my two daughters, and I could manipulate that and put it in the frame pretty nicely. However, I also have a photo of myself and my grandson that I like to use, and that would be a little bit more difficult just because of the shape of the picture. However, if you go to Elements and type in Photo Frame, it brings up some frames with grids in them, and the grid is simply the little landscape picture that you see there. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a frame. Just going to use that one. I don't like that one's not going to work so well to cover that though. Let's use this. All right, notice that the color there on the frame, I can also change that color if I don't like it just by clicking on the little color box. Notice that Canva brings in colors from your photo so that you can keep a color consistency going on if that's what you choose to do. I'm just going to go ahead and default that to black. I think it'll make it stand out a little bit better. Then I go back to my photos. This is so cool, y'all. Watch now. When I drag the photo of my grandson and I, it automatically snaps it to fit into that frame. I can then take it, put it on the shelf, and resize it to cover up the original frame that's there. And then I have a nice picture of myself and my grandson on the shelf there. Now, I want to add another one, so I can go over here and duplicate this, put it where I want it, which is just, again, a simple drag and drop. If I hit delete once, it takes the photo out, but not the frame. Then I can drag my other photo in there, and it snaps it to size. Notice now that that photo is covering up my part of my head on the Bitmoji. So if I select the Bitmoji, go to position, click forward, then it brings it back to the front and my head is not covered up by the photo. So you can go ahead then and add whatever other elements that you like in here. I would add probably a bookcase. Although I will caution you to, if you search for bookcase, you don't get as many options as if you search for bookshelf or just shelf even. So I want something that is a lower bookcase so that it will fit under my whiteboard. I'm going to take it and resize it and then position it in front of the whiteboard like that. You can add whatever elements you want, obviously. Maybe it would be nice to have a plant on the shelf or some flowers. So again, I would just go in and do a search to find a plant to set up on my shelf there. There we go. Now you're adding, and again, you can add whatever elements you like. This is very simple and very basic. I'm doing that primarily in the interest of time. I don't want this tutorial to go on forever. So now you're ready to add elements to your whiteboard. Whatever activities you're going to put on there. If you want to do a welcome, you can also do that. Maybe you want to do something like this and add that to your whiteboard. You can add pretty much just whatever you want. If you wanted to add a sign of some kind, you can search for those. There are several of those available within Canva as well that you can use. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and focus on what's going to go on the whiteboard. I would do this as a weekly organizer, so I'm going to show you how to set that up. But in order to do that, I would want to put something to symbolize my 5 days of the week. Again, you can change colors here. And then add them to your board however you like. One thing, again, that's nice is the duplicate feature, so that you can keep everything consistent size-wise. You could also copy and paste, but I like the duplicate feature. So I'm going to add 5 boxes here. Notice the grid lines that also appear, so that's nice to keep things lined up as you work. The other thing about colors is, again, notice it draws in the colors from your photos. It has default colors, but with a pro account, you can also add your own palettes. Notice I have added some there. These are ones that I like and use often, so I just add them on there myself. And let's see. Again, notice how simple it is to line things up with the grid lines. So I've got 5 days. Now, if you're like me, you don't like that because it leaves an empty space on the whiteboard. So one thing you could do is add a school mascot picture. This is I'm an instructional coach, actually. This is a mascot of one of the schools that I work with. So I might add that on there just for a nice little touch and to keep things kind of even. The Pinterest button likes to get in the way a lot. All right. So now what I would do is add text to those. I'm going to add my days of the week. Notice all of the font combinations available. Those are fun. For this, though, I just need something simple, so I'm just going to add a subheading. You can also change the font on that. There are a lot of really fun ones. School Bell is one that I particularly like, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to drag it here. This will be my Monday. You can resize text by dragging and dropping, or going in here and actually physically putting the size of your text, your font that you want in there. I'm going to, again, duplicate, keeps things easy and consistent. Now that's too big. So I probably would go in here and resize all of them because that's the part of me that likes to have things all the same and consistent. And then we'll add Thursday and Friday. And there is our opening slide. So this would be slide 1 in my presentation. And if you just want to do one slide and you don't want to do the weekly thing, then you are done with whatever, unless you want to add more elements. So what I'm going to do is duplicate or copy this page. And the reason I do that is because it brings in everything from the page before and I don't have to add it all again. That's going to be more important in a minute. But for now, I am going to make this my Monday slide. So I am going to change this up a bit. So I work with ESL teachers, and I tend to think of things in terms of the 4 domains: reading, writing, listening, speaking. So I would probably do link 4 activities, 1 to each domain. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 boxes here once again. Just because I'm me, I am going to duplicate them so they're all consistent size-wise. Except I have a feeling that that is not going to fit. So let me... There. Once again, you can change your colors. I like to color code, especially for ESL kiddos, so that they have a visual cue. And then I would probably add the day there. Now, again, since this is for ESL kiddos, and I want to give them visual cues and help make input comprehensible, I am going to, actually, let me put my headings on here first. So I would have over here reading, and then I would do one for writing. These could actually be a little bit bigger. I'm just not going to take the time to do that because we could be here all day with me playing with this thing. Over here we would have listening, and then we would have a speaking activity as well. Okay. Again, because this is for ESL kids, I would add some more pictures for visual cues. I really could have made those bigger. Okay. So then I would probably go over here and type in book and find a picture of someone reading a book to add to my reading space. You can use your arrow keys to get things positioned more precisely as well. There are lots of graphics to choose from. I'm just picking some pretty basic ones again in the interest of time. Listening. One thing that's nice about this again is I could change the color of those headphones if I didn't like them. So you can really personalize these quite a bit. And then speaking. And then you just, again, add your Bitmoji. Add a little bit different one from the other one that I had in there. Position now wherever you like. And there's your Monday slide. Now again, I can copy it. Then all I have to do is change my text to Tuesday. Add another Bitmoji. You can crop photos pretty easily, which is nice. Once you do the initial slide, I mean, it really goes pretty quickly to do a 5-day organizer. Probably the thing that takes the longest for me is choosing Bitmojis because I like to have a nice variety. And I'm not totally happy with these ones, but I don't want to take the time to download more, or upload more. Actually, let me upload one. I'll upload one so that I can show you how easy it is to upload images in here. And let's do a Friday one. And I'll go ahead and, selected the wrong thing there. And Friday. So now I have all 5 days that I can easily import into Google Slides, which of course I'm going to show you how to do as well. If I want to upload an image, you simply click on Upload and choose your image or your pose, and then it uploads it right into there. And then there you are. And you have your presentation and your Bitmoji scenes done. Now, one question that was asked is, can you add links in here. The question is, yes, you can. I prefer to add them into my Google Slides when I get the presentation there. It just works easier for me. But if I wanted to link text, you click on the three dots here once it's highlighted. Click on the link and then add your link. You can also add a link to a picture by selecting the picture and then clicking on the link there. Again, I prefer to add my links in Google Slides. So I'm going to show you two different ways to now put my Bitmoji scenes in Google Slides. If you put hyperlinks in, you can do that and download it as a PDF if you are someone who uses a PDF rather than Google Slides. And in that instance, I would say go ahead and add your hyperlinks into Canva. So I am first going to download this as a PowerPoint by choosing the arrow by present. Then I go to PowerPoint and download from there. Bitmoji weekly. And then there it is. Now I'm going to go to my drive, go to new, upload the file. And there's my PowerPoint. And then open it with Google Slides. Let me show you why I don't prefer this method. Once we transfer it to Google Slides, it shifts things around because we've changed formats from PowerPoint to Google Slides. So notice now I've got an issue here with my text. And I can fix that, but it's just kind of a hassle. It just takes more time that I don't really want to spend. This is not bad, though, I will say, as some of them that I've done with, say, a lot of text. So that's one way to do it, and then you can add your links from there. Also, I am going to do this. I'm going to click on download, and I'm going to save this as a ping image. So I would go here, go to ping. Now I'm going to use this actually, the ping, as the background for the Google Slide. So I'm going to just do a page at a time. Opening slide. By the way, you can title these. I just did not take the time to do that. Okay. Now, when I go back into my drive, this time I am going to create a new slide presentation. Computer's being a little slow. My apologies. And I am going to right-click over here and change the background of this slide. So I'm going to go here and find my slide. And now nothing is movable and everything has remained intact as far as size and shape, and I don't have to adjust everything. I'm going to go ahead and download the second page here so that I'm going to show you why I do it this way. Oops. Make sure to change it to ping. This is an issue I was having yesterday, and I will assure you that it is my computer and not Canva. I may have to close it and get back out of it. Yes, I know. Select. Okay. Okay. Apologies. Again, this is my computer and not a Canva glitch. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to call this slide 2 just to make it easier to find. And then I'm going to add a new slide. Click on that slide, change the background. Add that ping. And there, oops, I didn't change the layout. And there we go. So I would continue that process to get all 6 of my slides in there. And then now I want to add in my links. So I would do a shape here. And I would link that to slide 2. And then make that transparent so that in present mode or publish to the web, they simply have to click on Monday to get to the Monday slide, and so on for each. Then again, if I'm going to put my activities in here, would do the same thing. Maybe I'm going to link to a piece of text for the reading activity, and I would do the same thing, highlighting that. I happen to have some text already in my Google Drive, so let me see if I can find that without searching too much. I have a lot of stuff in here, so I'm going to do this differently. All right, so now I would share this to get my link. This is just an article from Scholastic's Action Magazine. Then I would go back here, add in the link, and again, make it transparent. And then there's my article. Then maybe I want to add in a link to the actual activity that the kiddos will be doing. And so I would do the same thing, going back to my Google Drive, and finding an activity that would go along with that text. Where's my case? And sharing it to get the link. Copying the link. Going back in and adding it here. And then again, making the shape transparent. So there is the link to the graphic organizer that goes with the activity. And you just continue like that. And that is how you use Canva to create a Bitmoji classroom scene. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, drop me a direct message or leave a comment. Thanks.